concept was silly, ridiculous, a waste of time. They didn't want. That's why they were so successful. That's why they got away.
I made a living in very dangerous.
That's a really integrated home.
Thanks for being with us in Black and White Productions. I wanted to tell you a little bit about who I am and who that organization is. Under in Black and White Productions, I have 3 companies. Dianne Andrews in Black and White Television. You all know me for that television show that we're filming here at Winning in the New Competitive Environment, our leadership forum where all students are free. And in saying that, my second organization is Promoting Success Seminars. My third organization is the Lemmy and Mabel Andrews Charitable Foundation. In 15 years, I've fed 12,000 meals to the elderly. I have provided $12,000 to the Hurricane Katrina victims in the form of an art contest, because I know, being a writer of 4 books now, 2 fiction and 2 nonfiction, that writing and creating helps to heal people who are suffering. And I did that for the children and the families of Hurricane Katrina back in 2006. Along with Aaron Jackson, the founder of Planting Peace charitable organization, was on CNN and was honored for his ability to take the deworming pill in Haiti down from $20 to $1. And a lot of that money in Haiti was being stolen by the people that run the country of Haiti. And that was a testament to him. When I saw that on television, I said, I want to work with him. I want to do some things for Haiti, and I did. I helped build an organization that has a banner today standing, the Lemmy and Mabel Andrews Charitable Foundation, in that environment in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. I also want you to know a little bit more about me. You see me on television, or you may be on some of my forums, but my career started at 19 years old with a mathematics degree, armed with IBM, and I went up to New York. My mother was doing badly and about to be placed in a nursing home. So I decided my family wanted to put in the nursing home, so I wasn't letting that happen. I came back here from New York. I started a home health agency. I ended up with 3 home health agencies, really 4. And 6 sleep apnea labs, the only person in this state, female, to own 6 different locations of sleep disorder labs. Before that, I started as a program in Houston, Texas after I graduated with a mathematics degree, and went on off to become a senior executive with the IBM Corporation. And I came here via Atlanta, New York, but specifically from Hartford, Connecticut. So what my life has been, to leave a path of goodness for others to follow. And that's what I'm doing today. You will see so many pictures of so many great people in this Winning in the New Competitive Environment forum that I'm doing. Again, adults, of course, are paid, but college students and undergrad students and high school students can come to this environment free and learn in an environment of synergy, along with young seniors, experienced, older like us, who have had experience in the world and experience in corporate America and experience in entrepreneurship. Because in this seminar, we had 5 states represented, 8 cities, such as New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Shreveport, Memphis, Tennessee, where a lady came in to receive a Courage Award from me for being a whistleblower under the Burlington Northern umbrella where she worked, corporation. She sued them and lost in the law in the appellate and won at the Supreme Court unanimously. Her name is Sheila White. Our esteemed mayor was here speaking her words of wisdom, Mayor Broom. We had State Representative Patricia Smith. Then we had hard skills to learn, such as how to start a business, how to become an entrepreneur. I teach management skills. I'm a management guru from small and large business perspective. So let's see some pictures, and let's see in this show what we did at Winning in the New Competitive Environment, May 4th, 2019, here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And come on back and join us for our next show, and join us for our next forum.
And I started teaching and realized I was teaching a 4th grade class. And in that class, it said, social studies, it said that if you're making $6,900, you're below poverty level. And I said, well, that's what I'm making. I'm below poverty level. And I said, but I have a degree and I'm below poverty level. I don't want to be below poverty level. So I love teaching. I like the outcome of it. you can see immediate results.
In fact, the cameraman.
And so,
33, you taught him.
so yes, I did. And so what I did was, with a business and English degree, because I have a master's plus 60, all right, in administration and all of that. Well, what I started doing, which worked well, was I became an entrepreneur, and I taught myself. Nobody helps you. All right, I started looking for entrepreneurial projects that I could manage and continue to teach.
Oh my God, are you Dianne Andrews?
Yes, I am.
Hi, I'm Donald. I love your show in black and white.
Oh, and you have my books. You have all three. Third Man Out, my fiction, Gumbo for the Heart, where 25 individuals. Oh my God, you have the latest one. I just put this out a month ago.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Do you enjoy them?
I do.
Oh, thank you
Can I
for being
please have
such
an
a
autograph?
Oh, sure. To Donald who?
Donald Spears.
Okay, Donald.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Susie Labrie, and I am an actress in the movie industry, and I'm also a movie extra and also a citizen activist in the interest of the film industry tax credits and also the disability community as I go to the state capitol and advocate as a unpaid citizen to the state capitol.
Hi, I'm Susan Mustafa. I'm a true crime author. I wrote the book on Baton Rouge's serial killer, Derek Todd Lee, and Sean Vincent Gillis, also from Baton Rouge, and more recently, the Zodiac Killer in California. And I also do investigation discovery type shows, and am currently working on a documentary series.
Hi, my name is Carol Bideau. I am a finance producer. I basically work out of New Orleans, but I work basically around the world, and I'm happy to be here. I think the most important thing for us is to make sure that you get something out of it. I think that there's always being talked to and having a conversation are two different things, and I think we always get more out of a conversation than being talked to. So I'd like to sort of open it up and do it very differently from the other panels. Is I'd like you to say your first name, what you currently do, and what you would like to hear about from women in this industry.
Hello, my name is Jensine Speed, and I'm a licensed medical social worker, and I work with adults who have sickle cell anemia. I would like some information if you guys have experience about how to launch a podcast. I know that's an up-and-coming media platform, and I want to personally get involved in that myself. Thank you.
And hello, my name is Tina Sumler. I'm actually the owner of Sumler Professional Accounting, where we provide accounting and grant management services. But as far as today, what I could benefit from is to learn more about how I can use this platform as regards to my business. But from a personal aspect, I do have a 9-year-old daughter who is pursuing acting. So from two perspectives, I would want to know what's the best in the route for her, and as a parent, what to be cautious of.
Hello, everybody. My name is Joyce Jackson Rodriguez, and I am a retiree and a wannabe author. I've written 556 pages, but they're telling me I probably have to cut some of it because I got 2 backstories in it, and I need to be knowledgeable on how to interweave the backstories so that I can cut out some of the dialogue and some of the narrative.
That I feel you all, or what I picked up was that you're all feeling very isolated in your creative and filmic journey. And I think that the number one thing that I would recommend is that you get involved with an organization. Get together with people that care about what you're doing. And what's wonderful in our society is that if you want to look at purple butterflies, there's an organization for you. And, you don't need to let everybody know that you're doing that, because a lot of times, and I'm sure a lot of people feel that, is that sometimes the people around you can be your worst impediment. Because they may say, you'll never be an actress, you'll never be a writer, you'll never be... You don't need to hear that. You need to be around people that have that same passion that you do. Now, Susie and I belong to Women in Film and Television. I don't know if you're a member. So there's an organization out of New Orleans, but we're starting a branch here in, it's actually been going a couple sessions.
It's the Baton Rouge branch of the Women
in Film and Television. And the main thing is that organization is not just about New Orleans and Baton Rouge. There are 40 chapters around the world. And whenever you want to join one of those organizations, there's one in Atlanta, there's one in there's 3. Wait a minute. I think there are 4 in Texas. There's one in Nashville, there's one in Memphis. They're all over, not just someplace far, but within what we always call a tank of gas. So you're getting involved in a network of people that you can join a scriptwriters group. Other people are doing podcasts. With Women in Film, we have a members-only section where people do that all the time. They'll sit there and say, I'd like to, figure out about gaming. And somebody will sit there, and probably in our group, there isn't one person or one group that are doing gaming, but somebody has information. And they're very, very, people really, really want to help each other because guess what? They're going to help you, you'll help them, they hope.
And you helped us by sharing this information with us because we need to know what the needs are. I went to a Louisiana Economic Conference back in 2011. What I wanted to do is collect the needs and see what we could do to solve these needs. I wanted to let the left hand know what the right hand is doing. This is why networking is so important. And now that we know that, I'm going to have my ears open. I'm sure Susan and I know Carol will too. And they look for stories that, you see, you're looking for agents. Are you a publisher? Or?
No, I'm not a publisher.
They look for agents and publishers. People are always asking me, do you know any publishers for authors? I'm not in the book world, but I'm learning. But because people are starting to ask, where can I find an agent? Where can I find a publisher? And this is very important that we network and gather all this information.
The best advice I can give you, don't fall in love with your words or your work. Do not fall in love with your own stuff, because that's the problem you're having right here is you have 556 pages and you don't know what to cut. But if you send that to a publisher, and they're like, well, we only want 100,000 words. Well, you're now down to 300 pages. How are you going to cut those 256 pages you've got over there? You cannot fall in love with your own work. You have to be able to write a rough draft, go back through it, and slash it. Because I'm telling you, I write a book, and I'm quick. I'm not good. I don't think I'm great, but I'm fast. So I can write a book. I've written a book in 5 days before, but normally it's about 6 weeks it takes me to write a book. But that's the first draft. Beyond that, it's a year of editing, cutting, going back, restructuring. You have to be able to look at your own work and say, this is where it needs help. And don't ever listen to your families when they tell you how great it is. I'm telling you, do not do it. They love you. They are never going to want to hurt your feelings. They are the worst people to ask what they think. Writers group, critiques.
And I'll start first, if it's okay, and tell a little bit about my journey. Most of you all probably know it, but one of the things I get asked the most is, why did I run for political office? And I tell people it's the same reason I ran in 1988 for the city council. That motivation and the reason has not changed at all. I sat in front of my TV set, became disheartened by some of the lack of activity and concern I saw that was taking place in my area and decided to run for city council. I was motivated by a heart to serve my community and to make changes to things that I thought could improve my community. Now, of course, once you get elected, it may not be as easy as the motivation, right? But that was my motivation. And I tell you now that when people come to me and they say, Mayor, I'm thinking about running for office, one of the first things I ask them is, why do you want to run for office? You see, because saying we need a change is not enough. Why do we need a change? What do you want to change? Why do you want to run? Unfortunately, there are a lot, well, I won't say a lot, there are a number of people who run because they want the position, they want the title, they want power, what they perceive as power. All wrong motivations for running.
I don't think, I don't think my story is any different, except I really had a purpose in running. My family has always been involved in politics, and my grandfather was the first black secretary for the AFL-CIO. So there were always folks coming in and out of our house, and I lived in an extended family when I was younger. So I was always the mischievous and debatable child. I would challenge you on just about anything. And so when I left here and went to Ohio to live and to finish my education, I was watching the school board meetings in Ohio and didn't like what was going on with kids, so I ran as a write-in candidate for the school board. So education has always been kind of the premise of why I was running for office. I came back home in 1980, didn't like what was going on in education here. I was a teacher, quit teaching because I couldn't make any money, left there, went to ExxonMobil, but I ran for the school board again. I ran twice for the school board, and the last time I got it, I was on the school board for 18 years. Education just always been a passion for me, to be able to see changes in education, to see that quality of education was given to all children. And so when the opportunity came for me to run for the legislature, again, I left the school board and ran for the legislature. And truly a public service. You know, when you think about what legislators do, my journey is truly no different than Mayor Broom's, in that service is really why we are there. Take questions. I think we want to ask folks to ask us questions.
I got a question. Like, from a student standpoint in higher education, what things are being done to help us value our college education? Because like, we pay all these fees, tuition is high, and I feel like we don't learn anything.
Oh. Now that's a deep statement you made right there.
I'm not going to ask you what college you go to.
Exactly.
I see it on there.
Right.
Well, and let me start.
Okay.
You're what?
I'm the SGA president of Baton Rouge.
Okay. And well, that certainly is not a good testimony in terms of how you feel about what's going on there. But as the SGA president, then you have the power and the influence to help change the trajectory of things that you think should take place. And so that means, I say always, you have to be very intentional about what you want to see. And I assure you that the administration values the input of the Student Government Association. So you and your colleagues need to come up with a plan. Be very strategic about it, of how you want to see a potential change take place in those specific areas.
And I would also encourage you, there is a student on the Board of Regents. I would always involve that student in your conversations about what you want to see different in education at BRCC, because they're at another school, but they can at least give you some input on the things that you need to do. But I do agree with Mayor Broom. If you're SGA president, you gather your Senate, you gather your members together, and you sit there and you talk about what needs to improve at your school, because that's so very, very important. Because if you don't say that something is wrong, it will continue to be wrong.
Stuff way after that. I was what they call a business process re-engineer, and I would fly all over giving, we would take a team of middle management to upper management. We would have to come through the vice president or the president of the company. Avis Rent-A-Car, Cole, I did all those. And Con Edison there in Detroit. Toys R Us, poor thing, going out of business now. But yeah, I went to London with Toys R Us. They couldn't re-engineer themselves, right? They should have gone more online. They should have done things. But now they're going out of business because toys, the kids are playing the games too much too. Maybe they should have bought some apps with their toys in it and put them in the games. But there are ways to re-engineer yourself, and you have to do that. As a person, you see, I re-engineer myself a lot. I like to change jobs. I like to change businesses. I like to learn. I like to absorb. And most of the time, I run a parallel, because if I did all of these one at a time, I'd be about 80. I'm not quite that old. But this story I'm telling you, I was doing a study at Avis Rent-A-Car. It's in Long Island, New York. That's where it's headquartered. And when I walked in, we always had a systems engineer working with us, but we were the process managers. We knew how to make that happen, those 6 weeks with the companies. And when I walked in, I could tell the IT guy looked at me, and where's the IT guy? Did he leave, doctor? He left? Okay. I could tell he looked at me. He didn't like me. Who is this son out here, right? And of course, I'm tiny, so I look young, and I was young, right? So after the third week, it was a 6 week, I was there 4 days a week with them, working with their team. And what we would do, and anything you want to do, like I didn't finish the story with Coke. What happened with Coke when they created Coke Classic, a new Coke, people hated it. Because if you want something sweet, you'll go to Pepsi and buy Pepsi, and that's what happened. Because Pepsi is like Coke, but sweeter. And so what they did, have you ever heard of focus group? I used to do those for IBM too. Anybody know what a focus group is?
Yes.
Besides Dr. Ray. Tell me what it is.
Focus group is pretty much when you
speak louder.
When you focus on a certain amount of people that's kind of the same demographic, and you ask them certain questions about a product.
Okay, does everybody agree? Tell me that's partly right. And it can be a focus group. What you said is that there are other ways to do it.
There aren't. Most of them are not the same demographics.
And you usually bring them in. When you do the focus group, you usually bring them into an isolated place, and you give them this product, and you let them taste it or eat it. So they ran a focus group at Coca-Cola. But let me tell you what they did. Tell me somebody should have lost their job, and they probably did. They've had the new Coke and Pepsi. What happened to the classic Coke? How stupid can you be? So people liked the new Coke better than Pepsi. But they didn't have you're blindfolded with this. So you don't know what you're drinking. They don't tell you what you're drinking. They tell you to tell me what you like. How do you not keep the one that you have? And that's what they did at Coca-Cola. And they lost millions of dollars. They pulled the old Coke off the shelves. And only had the new Coke, and then they tried to come out with something called Cherry Coke and all this kind of stuff, trying to reprieve themselves. They would have gone out of business. They lost so much money. I'm sure they did fire the CEO. I think he lost his job. But can you imagine? Can you imagine not putting your main product in there to test it? Maybe it would have said, well, I like this one better, but maybe let's tweak it a little bit or something. The focus group would have told you, but they pulled it out altogether. They had made up their mind before they went to the end user to see what the end user wanted. Always go to the end user. Because that's the one who's buying your product or getting your service, right? Is the end user. Right? So never, if you ever have a product that you're trying to get out there and you have one already, always put that into your test. All right? Doesn't it sound kind of strange that a big corporation would do that? And they pulled that product off the shelves based on that focus group. Didn't make a lot of sense. And so within a month or two, they were putting it back on the shelf because nobody was buying the new Coke. And they lost a lot of people at Pepsi doing that blind taste test without the original. When you first get a job, the life cycle of leadership, they kind of took it after Drucker and extended it. He told you how to become a leader, how to be an effective manager. He developed all these processes and how to decentralize, how to treat your employees right, how to get customers, how to treat customers right. He did all of that for the world. And then Ken Blanchard, and Peter Hershey, Paul Hershey was his name, came along and they said, let's create a life cycle of leadership. So how do we do it? Because every employee is not the same. I remember when I first became a systems engineering manager for IBM, I was in New Jersey. We get appraised at IBM also. You know how you get appraisals?
employees do. When you're a new employee, you get 90 days usually, and then you get them every year after that. But what they do at IBM, every year they appraise the employees, actually appraise the managers. They go online and they fill out these questionnaires about us. So I was a new manager. I had people in Philadelphia, I had people in New York, and I had people in New Jersey. And I happened to walk by, one of my employees was in New Jersey or in Philadelphia, and I heard him say, I don't know what I'm going to give her. He said, you know, I never hardly see her come down in Philadelphia. So what do you think I did, Joe? What did I start doing? That's right. I started going down to Philadelphia. He didn't know I heard him. And I just happened to hear him. I called my boss and said, Mr. Jaworski, he was where was he from? He's dead now, from Poland. And I said, this is what they said. I got to get down there more. And he said, yeah, you need to start getting down there, because if you got people, even in the same location, you got to make sure you treat everybody the same. That's what George was talking about, right? And you got to use situational leadership, because, okay, if I'm a new employee, I need more help probably, right? They call it situational one, becoming the parent. That you're the parent, you're guiding this person, you're guiding this new employee, right? And what am I trying to get? I'm trying to go from S1 to S2 to S3 to S4. And S4 is what we call it, they're a responsible adult. They make sure to put responsible on there, just not adult, right? That you're just telling them, hey, this is a project, and they can run with it. That's what you want. You want the best people, but you got to look at each one of your employees, whether they need a lot of direction, whether they need a lot of coaching, whether they need a lot of support, and whether they can handle it on their own. Y'all like these stories? Because I got a bunch of them. When I was a marketing manager in IBM, and the only one in the state of New Jersey, the only black one, male or female, and they created a unit for me. Now, I was assistant engineering manager when I was in Houston, and I'd gone through training, because the marketing manager is like a quarterback at IBM. You know, they make the money, the marketing people, right? So when I went through training, they said, well, this girl, you know, she got the technical, but she got the personality. Why don't you put her in marketing? But they didn't have any marketing managers at IBM. I was the second black woman, no black marketing reps, and I was the second black woman marketing manager. But what I have learned is you take your lemons and you turn them into lemonade. I was a one performer at IBM. You perform from 1 to 5, and 1 being the highest, and I was always a one performer. So I may have worked hard and had to do more, but I don't mind working hard and do more if you're going to give me my credit.